Bienvenidos. Willkommen. Welcome to Trinity Lutheran Church, a diverse, justice-seeking faith community on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Whether you're a longtime parishioner or a relative newcomer, you know by now that Trinity doesn't have a type. You know that there's a place for you at our table.
I started coming to Trinity about 4 years ago.
A long time ago. I would say about 30 years ago.
At about 1, when I was 1 year old.
Cuando mi hija grande tenía como 6 años, 7 años, mucho tiempo.
I started coming to Trinity about a year ago, a little more than a year.
My family started coming to Trinity when I was about 4 years old.
First Sunday was Palm Sunday, and so it was the mariachi band and the 20 yards outside. And I thought, this is the church for me.
And what has kept you coming back since that time?
My grandchildren and I really need to go to a church, and I believe this is the right church for us because they understand us. And I just enjoy the pastoring, and I love the good spirit we have at Trinity.
I just enjoy everybody, and they're so friendly to people. Oh.
Many people from different countries who come here and have fun.
It's a place that's just full of so much love, and it's a very humble place, I think, that really illustrates the real meaning of being connected.
Whether that's just a hello or a hug or just listening to someone.
This is a small church, but unlike most churches of its size, it is not a clique.
And my mom really likes it. Here in Blueberry, my favorite stuffed animal really wanted to see it. So that's why I brought him.
I know when I come here that Christ is speaking to everybody through all of us together, and it's just a beautiful thing.
My number one requirement was a woman in charge pastor, not an assistant pastor, and that she preach well. She's a great preacher, and that she preaches the word, she does that. And then the big bonus was Horace, because I of course wanted a good music program, but I didn't know I would get one of the best music programs in the whole city, maybe the whole world.
I like the 3 services. I enjoy listening to the pastor preach, and I also enjoy the vicars.
The shelter is also really important to me. The fact that the community provides this to the community, it's so needed.
Bien, con el programa del shelter que hay en la iglesia, eso me hace pensar sobre la realidad y cambiar a lo mejor algunas ideas que yo tenía sobre gays y lesbianas, y eso ha ayudado a que yo lo vea de una manera completamente diferente y tratar a la gente como gente.
Pastor Heidi treats us like little grown-ups. There's so much fun things at Sunday school because you get to read the Bible book. What I like about coming to Leadership is I love seeing my little sister participate.
I was biking to Central Park and I saw a black flag with a rainbow triangle on it, and I thought to myself, I guess I don't have a reason not to go to church anymore. It took me a while to find a congregation that welcomed me for who I was and approached Christianity from the perspective of living love and helping your community as a symbol of your love for Jesus.
Like I said, this is my home. The only difference is that I don't sleep here. But I'm here most of the time.
As you can see, we've got a lot going on at Trinity, and we're proud of the rich array of ministries and services we offer. Did I just say rich? That's not a word we often use to describe ourselves. It actually takes a fair amount of moolah to pay for all the great things we do. Here's a quick overview of Trinity's income. Currently, 48% of our income comes from you, our parishioners. Another 18% comes from space use. We rent our space to a whole slew of different groups who use it for meetings, rehearsals, classes, or performances. 10% comes from the reimbursements we get from our nonprofit entity. An additional 7% comes from what we call designated giving. These funds mainly benefit our summer camp program. We raise about 1% from special events, like our cabaret and opera performances. And finally, we get 16% from the ELCA. As you probably know, that's an acronym for our national church organization, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. A portion of this amount is temporary. That brings us to 100%. Great news, right? Well, not exactly. So here's the unvarnished truth. Even with all your support and with all the other income streams that keep us up and running, we've still got a budget deficit of 10%. That's $22,000. You may well ask how we've managed to stay afloat with a $22,000 budget gap looming over our heads. No, we don't do it by printing more money or by borrowing from foreign banks. To help us pay our bills, we've been drawing from a bequest left to Trinity years ago. This is hardly the best financial strategy. We'd like to save more than we spend. We'd like to be a model of fiscal responsibility and due diligence. But let's get back to a potentially thorny issue. Most of us aren't exactly loaded, and some of us are struggling mightily just to make ends meet. You may think a small offering wouldn't make a difference, so why bother to make it at all? But in the eyes of the church, not to mention the eyes of God, there's no gift too small. There are lots of options for supporting the church.
You can give in many different ways, by reaching out to people, doing church donations, participating in capital campaign, donating clothes, donating food, just doing volunteer work.
In terms of donating money, I think for me, I probably just need to budget more and figuring out if I can give more money.
Well, there's a lot of competing things, knowing where to give your money, and just knowing how to quantify what you can give and have the most impact. Sometimes it's hard to know that even the littlest things can help.
There's always Thanksgiving to give, always, and I find it when I come here.
A lot of things that one would think that they just kind of appear, and then behind pretty much every interaction and every activity at Trinity is usually 1, 2, 3, or 4 more people.
Me, as soon as I get my little checkie, that's the first thing I take out.
Siempre doy a la iglesia lo que yo puedo, cuando yo puedo pues un poco más, y porque no solamente es dar a la iglesia.
What if we could replace the money we've borrowed from our bequest? And what if we could even raise enough to make our shared hopes and dreams come true? Let's listen to our own voices.
Renovating the space is a priority, but I think it would probably be nice because I know since I've been coming, the scaffolding has been outside, and I think it's kind of hard to see the church.
That with the money, the church could expand their after-school program.
A health group for people or young people that's in the age, talk about maybe STDs and HIV and things like that.
Hubiera más programas deportivos para los niños, por ejemplo, algunas clases de danza, de yoga.
To get it out there that Trinity is a place for people to come to, that it's a beautiful church, and really just growing the number of people who see it as a resource to come to.
We can do it. We need to do it. And we will do it. Let's join together and close our budget gap $1 at a time. Let's make sure Trinity continues to provide a spiritual home for our dynamic community of free spirits, representing every color of the rainbow. A welcoming space for all. a place where we build the road as we travel.